Something woke me at 3:17 a.m., not a sound, but the absence of one. The crickets had stopped. My dog was gone. And the air, thick, like breathing through gauze. Then I saw it, 3 figures standing in the field, perfectly still, facing my window. They weren't there before. They don't blink. They don't move. But every night, they're closer. I grew up in the suburbs, cookie-cutter houses, Friday night football, the kind of place where nothing ever happened. That's why, when my wife and I bought the old Henderson place out near Black Pines Lake, it felt like a fresh start. Peaceful. Quiet. Too quiet, maybe. The house was built in the 1920s, long before the lake was drained and the woods started creeping back. Peeling paint. Sagging porch. The kind of place that watches you when you walk in. The realtor called it full of character. I called it lonely. And isolated. The nearest neighbor was half a mile down a gravel road that didn't believe in streetlights. We moved in mid-July. Summer heat clung to everything, thick and wet. Nights were worse, no breeze, just that heavy, breathless dark. The first few days were normal. Unpacking. Settling in. But then I noticed things. Small things. The way the floorboards creaked in the attic when nothing was up there. How the wind never touched the trees in the backyard, even when the pines howled like madmen on the ridge. And the silence. Not just quiet, silence. No raccoons. No crickets. Not even birds. Like the whole property was, muted. Our dog, Rex, refused to go near the basement door. He'd growl low, hackles up, tail tucked, something I'd never seen in 10 years. I checked the lock. Rusted shut. The landlord said it had been sealed for decades. Structural issues, he claimed. But the padlock? It faced outward. Like it wasn't to keep us out. I didn't think much of it. Not then. But that first night, lying in bed, sweat on my skin and the fan doing nothing, I heard it, faint, beneath the floorboards. A slow, rhythmic tapping. Not wood. Not pipes. Like fingernails. Testing. Waiting. And just before it stopped, I could have sworn it spelled my name. The tapping came every night after that, always at 3:17 a.m., sharp as a metronome. I checked the basement door again. Still locked. Still cold to the touch, even in the sweltering heat. I started recording. Left my phone on the floor, facing the door. The next morning, I played it back. Nothing. Just silence. Until the last 10 seconds, when a breath, wet and ragged, hissed through the speakers. Not mine. Not my wife's. And Rex was gone. He vanished 3 nights in. No signs of struggle. No tracks. Just his collar, dangling from the basement doorknob. Inside the metal loop, something dark and sticky, like sap, but warm. I wiped it on my jeans and told myself it was nothing. But that night, I saw the figures. From the bedroom window. 3 silhouettes in the field beyond the tree line. Motionless. Tall. Too tall. Their heads didn't move, but I felt them watching. I turned on the porch light. They didn't flinch. Didn't vanish. Just stood there, like sentinels. I drove into town the next day, desperate for answers. The old gas station clerk barely looked up when I mentioned the house. "You're the 3rd this year," he said, voice flat. "All move in. All leave. Or don't." He wouldn't say more. But as I walked out, he muttered, "They don't like summer people." That night, the power went out. No storm. No flicker. Just dead. I lit a candle. The flame bent sideways, no draft. Then the tapping changed. Not random. Rhythmic. 3 slow knocks. 2 fast. 1 slow. Like a signal. And beneath it, a whisper, guttural, layered, as if multiple voices spoke at once. It came from inside the walls. I pressed my ear to the plaster. The whisper sharpened. She's not your wife. I froze. My wife was asleep down the hall. I checked the room. She was there. Breathing. Normal. But when I looked closer, her hand, resting on the blanket, had fingernails too long, too dark. I blinked. They were normal again. The next day, I found footprints in the dust beneath the basement door. Bare feet. Too large. Too many toes. And the smell, sweet rot, like overripe peaches left in a closed car. I tried to call a locksmith. No signal. Landline dead. The car wouldn't start. And the figures, they'd moved. Now standing at the edge of the yard. Closer. Closer every night. Then the whispers started calling me by name. Not in my ear. Inside my skull. And last night, I woke to the sound of scratching, on the inside of the window. I looked. A handprint, smeared in that same dark sap, pressed against the glass from the outside. But the window was locked. And the print, was on the inside pane. I couldn't sleep. Couldn't breathe. The house felt like a lung, pulsing, contracting around me. The whispers had become constant, layered voices chanting in a language that slithered between syllables, words I couldn't grasp but felt, like maggots burrowing behind my eyes. I found myself standing in front of the basement door in the middle of the night, barefoot, my hand on the rusted knob, though I had no memory of walking there. The lock was gone. Not broken. Not picked. Gone. The bolt was retracted, the hole empty, as if it had never existed. The door stood slightly ajar. A breath of air seeped out, cold, thick with the scent of wet earth and something older, something alive beneath the soil. I didn't want to open it. But my hand moved anyway. The hinges groaned like a dying animal. The darkness below wasn't empty. It pulsed. A slow, rhythmic throb, like a heartbeat rising from deep underground. I fumbled for my phone, turned on the flashlight. The beam cut through the black, revealing steps, wooden, rotting, descending into a pit I knew hadn't been on the blueprint. I stepped down. 1, 2, 3. The air grew heavier, pressing against my chest. The walls weren't concrete or stone. They were organic, ribbed, veined, glistening faintly, like the inside of a throat. I gagged. My light flickered. Then died. In the silence, something stirred. A wet, dragging sound. Then a voice, my wife's voice, calling my name. But it came from below. And it wasn't alone. Others echoed it, mimicking, twisting, layering until it became a chorus of distorted pleas. Come down, we've been waiting. You opened the door. You let us in. I turned to run. But the stairs were gone. The door above slammed shut. And then, light. Faint, greenish, emanating from deeper in the chamber. I saw them. 3 figures. Tall. Their skin stretched too tight over elongated bones, their faces smooth, featureless except for wide, lipless mouths that opened like wet slits. And their hands, too many fingers, blackened, twitching. They knelt around a shape on the floor. My wife. Or what was left of her. Her body was fused with the ground, limbs merging into root-like tendrils that snaked into the walls. Her eyes were open, white, clouded, but she was aware. Her mouth moved. Not a scream. A welcome. You're home, she whispered. They've been waiting for you. We all have. I backed away, but something grabbed my ankle. A vine? A hand? It yanked, hard. I fell. My head cracked against the pulsing floor. Warmth spread. Blood. Or something else. The figures turned. Their heads tilted in unison. And then, from their mouths, in perfect harmony, they spoke. You were never the one who moved in. We were already here. You were the last one left to wake. I felt it then, the pull in my chest, the shift. Memories that weren't mine. Summers long before this house. The lake is full. The trees are watching. The ritual. The offering. And the truth, worse than any monster. I wasn't the homeowner. I was the harvest. They found the house empty. No signs of struggle. No bodies. Just a single phone, left charging on the kitchen counter, screen cracked, audio still playing. The police listened. It was me, my voice, raw and trembling, recording in the dark. They said it lasted over an hour. Most of it was silence. Heavy breathing. Then whispers in a language no one recognized. And at the very end, 3 slow knocks. 2 fast. 1 slow. The house was sealed. Condemned. But the new owners, some young couple from out of state, moved in last week. Saw no red flags. Just a fixer-upper with character. I watched them from the tree line. I don't have a body anymore, not really. I'm in the walls. In the soil. In the silence between heartbeats. I tried to warn them. Left the basement door open. Wrote on the bathroom mirror in that same dark sap, "Don't stay that IT was gone by morning." Wiped clean. But the words were still there, faint, foggy, like the mirror was remembering. They laughed it off. Said it was condensation. They don't hear the tapping yet. Not at 3:17. Not every night. But they will. I used to think the horror was what lived under the house. I was wrong. The horror is how hungry it is. How patient. How it doesn't take you all at once. It invites you in, lets you think you're the one in control, until you realize you've been part of it all along. Your memories. Borrowed. Your choices. Echoes. Your fear. Fertilizer. And now, as I feel the next one stirring, the woman, tossing in her sleep, whispering in a voice not hers, I understand my purpose. I'm not trapped. I'm a warning. I'm a vessel. I'm the door. And every summer night, when the air goes still and the crickets stop, someone new will hear the tapping. And someone new will answer. Because it's not about escape. It's about rotation. And the house. It's always hungry for its next owner.